Hello, everyone. How are you going? So as you might
Hello.
notice, at the moment we are just waiting on Brandon, which he may be joining. It is about 12 a.m. for him, and Mike should be joining very shortly. I know he said his had to get his kid up and get some, parent things. Um, but what I'll first do is we'll talk about the two changes, as you can probably already notice. Oh, hang on 1 second. We've got Mike on the line. Let's just bring him in. Howdy, Mike. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Sorry I'm a bit late.
That's all right.
By 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. So, hey, how do you like the new place, Mike?
Oh, it's beautiful. I love the rocks and the scenery. It's stunning, yeah.
So what I was just saying is we've got the two changes that people might notice is one, that it looks different. So we're just trying something different. We're using YouTube Live this time, and we're also just trying to use Restream, which, as you can see, just kind of makes things a bit easier to manage. It's not all just separate people in a call. It'll just make things a lot easier on our end, and it makes it a lot easier for us to pipe all this stuff to YouTube Live, and that will get the videos automatically recorded, so everyone will be able to see it like immediately after, and hopefully we shouldn't have any issues that we did before. And the second thing is the time change. Well, not necessarily time change going forward, but this is something we're trying out. So something that the community has been saying, everyone here, is that our 3 p.m. Australian time doesn't always work with everyone, the US and the UK and whatnot. So we're just trying this out. We'll see how we go over the next few months. We might try a few different times to see which one works best for both us and the community. But it's cool. It's a cool thing to check out. And yeah, hopefully you like it, but let us know what you like, don't like. And that's what we'll be listening to. But enough about that. I know one of the things that we're going to be talking about is the upcoming progression changes. Mike, do you want to sidle us into that?
Yeah. So I will share my screen as I will be taking us through probably this high-level BattleTabs progression redesign document that we did. I'm going to say over Christmas and into January. So the idea with this is that we want to obviously our main goal is we're going to mobile, and we knew that the BattleTabs progression system probably needed to be upgraded. It hasn't been changed in a very long time, and BattleTabs has just kind of evolved as we've gone, and we just added bits on the side. We had custom fleets, and then we added like high score tables, and then we added like short battles, and then we added like loads of stuff, and it just kind of, the progression has never really had a cohesive sort of like design. It's just kind of evolved, we've gone along, and we thought we're going to mobile, we'll take the time to redesign it and do it properly, so it's actually engaging, because obviously if you playing on mobile and you pay money or whatever to acquire new users as a business, then I'm going to lose those because people aren't engaged, and that's obviously not a good thing. So yeah, we thought we'd take the time to redesign. So I'm going to go through this document as quickly as I can, I think, and then maybe
you might need to just zoom in on that a little, Mike.
Is it too zoomed out? Is it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so we'll go through this as quickly as I can. I'm not going to do the full. It normally takes me about an hour to go through all this, but we'll try and do it as quickly as I can. And so we can. Why is Mikey here talking on the video? I don't know. I assume I'm just looking at the chat in Discord as well at the same time. Anyway, so if you have any questions or whatever, then we can just chuck in the chat, and we can either go through them as I'm going through this or afterwards as well. So, okay, so basically the progression system, we wanted it to feel like it should be fun and rewarding, and it should always feel like there's something more that you can do. I asked this back in January, like what people thought about the current progression system. One of the things people thought it was limiting, so there should always be something more that they can do. And we want it to revolve around like our key assets, which are like ships and hopefully new game modes. There's always popular things. People are always requesting new game modes. So and each feature we want, each part of the progression system should hopefully reinforce each other, so that we get
Mike,
nice synergies.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
You should probably mute yourself on the Discord.
It's all right. I've muted. Should now be muted.
Okay. Sorry, was I feeding back? Was I? Thank you.
It's all good.
That's all right.
Just me wittering on for ages, talking to myself. Okay, so we divided the progression system up into 3 different parts. There's this research, there's league, and challenges. You might have seen sort of those as headline features on the back to beta, but I'm going to go into more details on exactly what they are. So first up is research. So this is going to be our primary way that you acquire stuff. So stuff being like cosmetics, being new ship blueprints. By the way, we are still keeping blueprints. New like currencies, new skins, and things like that. So this will be one of the primary ways that you do it. Research is going to be broken up into 2 parts: a campaign and season. Season obviously is a time-gated thing, so you'll have new content refreshed on a period, and whereas campaign will just be like everlasting kind of stuff that you acquire. So it works similar to any game that you've ever played, like they've got like skill trees in them. Except it's more linear than that. It's less of a giant branching sort of skill tree. It's more of a linear sort of progression. So you have these nodes that go down in a line, and occasionally they'll branch off, and so you can do like side quests as you go along. But mainly there's a primary sort of like progression as you go down. You have to have completed the previous research node before you can start this one. And each node has got a set of requirements and a set of rewards. And you'll notice that most nodes will have some sort of research points as requirements. There may be other requirements as well, such as like having to complete a challenge, or maybe even pay some gold or something like that. So, but research points are the primary way which we unlock research. So just put a pin in that. What a research point is in a minute. I'll explain what that is in a minute. So, So explain all that. Examples of rewards might be blueprints, blueprint choices, gold, gems, cosmetics, challenges, and feature keys. So this is a new thing we're planning on doing, which is progressively unlocking features in the game. The game has got quite a lot of existing features. It's down here somewhere. I list all the existing, not all the existing features, but many of the existing features in the game. I think I listed here. Do I? Oh no, it's in the plan. I won't get to that yet. But the game's got a lot of existing features. So what we want to do is like have a progressive, almost like extended tutorial, where we lock most of the features in the game, and then as you go through the research, you gain a key which allows you to unlock that feature. So, for example, like able to rename your character, for example, might be locked behind a feature key, and then you can do like a little side quest if you want the ability to rename yourself. So then you can get the feature key. So that's a new thing we're doing. There might also be infinite reward nodes at the end of the tree. So you might, when you get down to the end of the campaign, there might be like an infinite reward node. So where you can keep giving research points, and then you get a certain reward out at the end. Obviously, the costs might then start going up, but it always gives you something. There's always something to do to spend your research on, basically. Just giving some examples of what feature keys might be there, like ability to change name, ability to spend research on season, ability to play hard challenges, ability to send battle invites, those sort of things. So, okay, so that's the first part, research, where that's where you get your stuff from. But I haven't explained where you get the research points from. So there's a couple of different places we get the research points from, but one of the primary places is the league, and this is our other major feature of the progression. This is where you are competing against other people to try and raise up through the ranks and get to the top of the league. So it's based upon some similar features in like Clash Mini. It has like a trophy road, or lots of other games have like this sort of similar sort of feature. But we've added a few other nice little twists to it that you'll get to see in a second. So it's broken up into 4 ranks: bronze, silver, gold, and diamond. So you start at the bottom in bronze, and then you go up through silver, gold, and then finally diamond. Each of those ranks is broken up down into 20 levels. So when you get to level 20, you're in silver. When you get to level 40, you're in gold. When you get to level 60, you're in diamond. And to progress up through those levels and ranks, you earn trophies. Trophies you earn from the game, from winning battles or losing battles sometimes. So each rank, bronze and silver, has got different properties with it. So one of the properties might be like what you get, how many trophies you get for a win or a loss. So for example, in bronze, you might get like 6 trophies for a win and like 2 trophies for a loss. Whereas in silver, you might get 5 trophies for a win and like 2 trophies for a loss, or something like that. So that it gets slightly harder as you go higher up the ranks. But we're also in the ranks, we're also going to change the scenery around the game. So maybe Sophie can show that in well, you can probably see on the background of the stream example of like scenery. So the boards will no longer be floating in space. They will also be within a 3D scenery world as well. So as you progress through the ranks, you'll get a nice visual upgrade. So you'll get a nice sense that you're actually progressing as you're going along. Maybe after this, Sophie can perhaps show. Sophie's been working on making this not look quite so designer-ish, and actually making it how it's going to look in the game. So maybe Sophie can show some examples of how we are planning and actually doing this. And it's quite a nice, unique look that ties back into the visual style of the game. So I'm quite excited about that. Along with the scenery changing with the ranks, we're also going to be changing. We're going to be adding game modes. So this is something that's been requested for a long time, which is having different game modes in the game. So this is where the game modes will slot into the design. So at each rank, we will be having, at each rank, you'll unlock another game mode. So maybe at bronze, you only have one game mode, which is the classic BattleTabs. And maybe when you get to silver, you have classic and draft mode, for example. And then when you get to gold, maybe you've got classic draft mode and like fog of war. Shout out BPF. Maybe so as you go up, you unlock more different kinds of game modes, because in theory you are a more experienced player, so you're more like able to handle like the rule changes that are associated with the different game modes. And then obviously, I haven't talked about it yet. So we have a season as well. So the league is tied to a season, so it'll only last for a certain period of time, and then we will reset the whole league, and everybody starts back down at 0, and we'll also that'll give us a great opportunity to change the game modes at that point as well. So we'll constantly be refreshing new game modes and tweaking the rules up as we go. So you go bronze, silver, gold, and then finally you get to diamond. Now, this is where things kind of mix up a little bit. So, I forgot to mention as well. So as you're going up along the league, you can also see other players and how they're progressing along. So maybe it'll show players that you've recently played with, or players that are just around your rank, or your friends, or that kind of thing. So you get a nice sort of like social cue of like, and you can see each other's like avatars and that kind of stuff. So that's quite nice. Oh, also, when you get to each level, this is what I forgot to mention. This is a very important part. You earn the research points. So at each level is one of the primary places that you'll earn research points. So you're incentivized to keep going up through the levels, because at each level you'll get a nice big chunk of research points, which you can then spend on research. You also get some research points for just after a battle, for winning a battle, but primarily you'll be getting research points. Actually, no, you don't get research points. No, sorry, you don't get research points after the battle. We changed that. You don't get research points after the battle. You get, oh, do you? Maybe we do. I can't remember. Sorry. So, but mostly you get research points from leveling up. So as you progress along. But when you get to diamond, things change. You no longer get levels, or you get a medal, you get a unique medal for completing diamond for the season. But when you get to diamond, you no longer get levels just for progressing through and earning trophies. When you get to diamond, you now entered what's known as the diamond dash. This is basically a high score like system where your trophies, when you get to level 60 and you got like say 10,000 trophies, your trophies now become 0, and any trophies that you earn from now on just go from like 0 up, and you're entered into this high scores table. And the diamond dash is going to reset weekly, and when it resets, the top 10% of players are going to be declared the winners, and they will get 1 level. And then everybody's trophies will then reset back to the start of Diamond Dash, and then you compete up again. So this gives it infinite, basically hard to get, but an infinite kind of like leveling up process. So if you keep playing and you keep winning, then you'll keep getting into the top of the Diamond Dash, top 10%, and then you get a level, and then you get more research points. So that's the idea with that. Yeah, so I'm just giving more examples of what the game modes are and things like that there. So there was some discussion when we were designing this around how do we do game modes? There's a lot of games where you have like a battle button on the home screen, and you potentially have like a settings drop down as well where you select the game mode. And the problem with that way of doing it is that you split your matchmaking pool up even further, because if you decide, oh, I want to play Fog of War, and somebody wants to play just classic BattleTabs, then you can't matchmake them because you pick different modes, and now you've split up the pool of potential players. So we played around with different ways of doing that. We thought, well, maybe we could have like a preference. So you set a preference. My preference is I want to play draft, and the other person wants to play classic. But if you can't find the preference, it just matchmakes you. But we decided that maybe there's a better way of doing it, which is we call mode voting. So before the battle, so you just have a single battle, click start a new battle. And at the start of the battle, you're given a few options of what the game modes you can choose are, and you can see what your opponent has chosen. So if they chose Fog of War, then you can see that, okay, yeah, cool, I'll Fog of War as well. Click that, accept, and then you both play Fog of War. If you both pick different ones and the game mode runs out of time, then it'll just either default to classic or randomize. We haven't quite decided yet. Now, to incentivize players to pick the same mode so that it gets on with it quickly, we are going to give bonus rewards, probably trophies, maybe, to one of the game modes, to the game mode. So say, like Fog of War will get 3 trophies, no rotations will get +2 trophies, for example. And that reward might change daily, on a daily basis, so that from day to day, players are incentivized. Okay, there's going to be a lot more Fog of War games today because that's what's being incentivized today. So that allows us to kind of like direct players towards different areas of the game at different times. So here's an image of what we're talking about with the selecting the preference. But we decided that probably the game mode selection way of doing it is that the voting mode is probably more fun. So there's a whole big list of ideas of game mode. This is one thing that we are definitely always looking for is ideas for different game modes. And I think we're planning on doing some bounties and stuff in the future where, we'll be looking for community submitted ideas for game modes, like draft mode and obscure and blitz 10 seconds per turn. And I like the idea of this one, overall time. You've got 2 minutes for all your turns, do as much damage as you can at a time. That's quite a really cool one. So I like the idea of having an overall time for all. Maybe 2 minutes is too short, but an overall time is pretty interesting. Obviously, fog of war, no rotations, which is an interesting one. So you can't rotate your ships, so it's a lot more high skill, bigger maps, that kind of thing. Okay, so that is the two primary features, research and league. We decided also that we wanted to have a slightly more depth to the game as well, and also another way that you can earn research points that you don't want to have. If you get stuck kind of grinding on the league, there needs to be other ways that you can to earn research points, and so that's why we introduced the concept of challenges as well. And this has been a feature that's been talked about and requested for a long time as well. And it's also actually been through a couple of designs internally as well. So the idea with challenges is that you have a number of challenge slots and you can choose your own challenge. So you pick new challenge available, you click that, and you're given a selection of challenges. And it might be like win 3 battles, or sink 5 ships with the coracle, or sink 10 ships in 20 minutes, and then you could accept it. And you can see what the rewards you would get if you completed that challenge. You'll also see that there's like a little token icon on some of these, and you can, before you accept it, you can, or after you accepted it, you can say to up the stakes. It's like a gambling mechanic, basically. You can say you can spend 2 gems and you get 4 gems in return. So it increases the risk reward factor of the challenge even higher. The challenges, the options that you get can be refresh every so often, day or so, or you can pay a bit of gold to refresh them immediately as well, or maybe even watch an ad to refresh them. So there might be a cooldown between challenges. Once you complete the challenge, there might be a cooldown, so you can't start a new one immediately, just to limit the potential overuse of it. Well, we haven't quite decided yet. We've also throwing around ideas of having so this design is not final for the challenges, but we want to do challenges of some sort, but we're kind of in 2 minds about it, because the traditional way of doing challenge feature is what's called so-called ambient challenges. So most games, they have these concepts of where you're always just on a challenge, and they're almost basically they're more like achievements than challenges, where you're just always on a challenge. So win 50 battles or something like that, and there's no user directed choice. You don't select the challenge. It's just you're on a challenge at all times, and that bar just slowly progresses up as you win battles or destroy ships or whatever the challenge happens to be. And we thought it would be more fun to have self-directed challenges, but there are negative aspects of self-directed challenges. One, that it's more work for people, and people tend to just want whatever the easiest thing is, the easiest way to play is. So if you have to select a challenge and then think about, what challenge can I do, and select one, then maybe that's too much. So we're also toying with the idea that maybe we do ambient challenges as well. So some of the challenges are self-directed and some of them are ambient. If we do that, then maybe there's options of having entire community-based ambient challenges. So maybe everybody in the entire game, this is I think Sophie put this study, which is cool. Everybody in the entire game has a challenge, which is we've got to win 1 million battles in the next week or something. And then if we do that, then the entire game wins. So everybody in the entire game gets a reward, which is kind of like an interesting idea. I like the idea of that, where we have challenge-based feature, entire game-based challenges. And then we also might have seasonal-based things. So you might have like Christmas challenges or Easter challenges or something like that. So that's about it. Yeah. So I think that's about it. So those are the three parts: the research, the league, and the challenges. And that's the high level of it. Now we've gone into a lot more detail recently over both the league and the research. So some of this stuff is probably going to change, or it has changed in the deeper stuff. But that's it from a high level perspective. You get research, and you need research points to get to unlock things on the research tree. You get those research points from the league and challenges, and maybe from winning battles. And the league resets it on a seasonal basis, and it has multiple parts, including the Diamond Dash, and the challenges allow you to self-directedly perform certain different things within the game, such as winning battles, or doing something with the coracle, or doing something with the sailboat. Do you know what I mean? Doing different things like that. So that's it from a high level perspective. Jamie?
Well, one question that I see is, will points become trophies? Which
points, existing points in the game, current points? No, I don't think so. I think this is one of those things that why we turned back to beta, because we were in two minds about how, because this is obviously a lot of different changes. There's a lot of stuff that's going to change. There's the whole progression redesign, which basically means, and it's incompatible with our current progression system. So we were like, how on earth do we develop this while continuing on a live game? And we thought about, do we do a completely separate game? Do we do a stop the world update where we completely stop everything and we just release all this at once? How do we do it? We decided in the end to do a progressive release of this stuff, where we're going to release the league first, and then release research, and then release challenges. We'll do that progressively, iteratively over time. We think that's better for the players. We think that's better for us, because it means that we can get feedback on stuff as we go. And we also think it's better, it's just an easier way to manage internally as well. So the problem though is then how do we convert our existing progression, people's progression over to this system? I think we haven't fully discussed it yet. We haven't fully worked it out, but I think we will give some sort of rewards for current players. But I think the systems are incompatible. And the fact as well is that because the progression in the league is now going to be seasonal based, it's going to reset on a frequent time basis anyway. So you're going to have to get used to it resetting frequently anyway. Well, frequently, I say, I don't know, every 90 days or something like that, or 6 months or something. So you're going to have to get used to it resetting anyway. Now, that's not to say we're not thinking about that. I think what we probably will do is we'll have a new stat, and maybe even a medal that will record your score, and maybe that's sort of, so you'll have that there recorded on your profile forever. But we will probably be resetting your trophy count. Now, your ships, though, on the other hand, and your cosmetics and things that you've acquired, those will probably let you keep still, just because you may have spent money on those already. And the same goes for gold and gems. We'll probably let you keep those still, but we haven't 100% decided on that. But so the question is what happens if you've already got the item, the reward from the node? Well, unfortunately, you'll just have to still complete the node, I think. I haven't really quite decided that. You still have to complete the node, but you just won't get any reward. Maybe we'll give you some gold instead or something, instead of the actual cosmetic item or something like that. But unfortunately, this is just a way that we're going to have to do it. We need a way to be able to upgrade the progression system, but also, respect previous users, progress, but trying to make them compatible. If you've got ideas of making that compatible, that's fair, that will work, then, let us know.
Shall we see some of Sophie's awesome art for the, should we start with the league screen? Is that what you'd like to start with, Sophie?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let me pull it up. So these are some...
You can see it? Yeah, this is just still in the works. Nothing's finished or finalized yet. but an idea for how the league would look. So each level would be represented by a little island. Obviously, the islands would be a bit more like not so samey looking. And then you've got, I made little badges here up the top, well, badges, I guess, titles for each rank. So we're going to be adding Diamond 1, like Mike said. That also means more frames as well. So stay tuned for that. I haven't mocked them up yet, but and then as well, the Diamond Dash, like Mike said. This is my current mock-up of it.
Well, I haven't seen this yet.
Look I've tried to make it look kind of diamondy like that. And full screen.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty. I love it. I always get so excited when Sophie shows new artwork. I was like, oh, it's like Christmas. It looks brilliant. I love it. Look how good that looks. That's amazing.
And the Diamond Dash is the top of the top, right? That is the players that are doing the best.
Yeah. So the diamond. So the idea was that basically you've completed the game when you get to level 60. When you get to diamond, you've in effect completed the game. And we wanted to give the players something to perpetually do. So we go back to that core principle of there should always be something for you to do. And it is difficult to then continually, as a very, very small team, to continually produce more content. So an easy way to do it is just have a continually resetting leaderboard. And so then the only way you can get levels is by becoming top of the Diamond Dash. Sorry. Carry on, Sophie.
Yeah, no, all good. So, I just had a few images here. This was also a mock of potentially what the shop would look like in mobile. Oh, and these are like the images that Jamie is using as the background. My experimentation making a little world. Obviously, it'll look more different in the game to match the boards and stuff, but yeah. And I've been using this stuff. Sorry?
We're going to release these as wallpapers for people to use?
Oh,
you're thinking?
Maybe. And these are also kind of used as backgrounds for the cards, which I think people have seen a little bit of talk about. Got some examples here, which is a sailboat and coracle.
Awesome.
So hopefully get some more of those to share, but that's.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brandon's not here to do a bit of a deeper dive on the cards. That's something he's been a bit more across, but it's they're really coming together. It's going to be exciting. I think in the next few months we'll definitely be able to talk more about them, and I'm sure Brandon will be doing a post, or maybe the next call we'll be able to talk a bit more about these cards. But they are looking very, very cool, and they're all like nicely 3D. The idea is we'll be able to view them in the Treasure Sandbox environment. So yeah, it's very cool.
Treasure Sandbox.xyz.
.xyz. Yep.
If you want to go there and check it out now, you can go and check it out. Jamie's awesome hard work there. Fantastic.
Shall we move to some? How are you going for time, Mike? I know you're a bit time.
No, I'm fine. It was just the start. I've got infinity amount of time now.
Okay, good. All right. So I was thinking we just cover some questions that have been asked. So one was, will ship skins also cost gems?
Haven't decided yet is probably the blunt answer. Not sure. We'll probably put some ship skins in the shop. I think that seems to be a common way of doing it, is putting ship skins. Ship skins, vanity items, very popular. Obviously, we'll be giving. Basically there'll be lots of ways to get ship skins. Ship skins in the shop, ship skins in the research, and ship skins eventually from cards. So the plan for the cards is obviously you collect the cards in Treasure Sandbox, and then you can craft items in BattleTabs by holding a certain collection of cards and then destroying the cards, and then you get a new skin in the game. So there'll be different ways to get ship skins in the game.
And another one is the new ships. Are there going to be new ships coming out in mobile, or just new features? Also, will points be carrying over to mobile? I think we should probably clarify that the mobile and the web, the features will be the same. So all these league and everything, even though we might be mentioning mobile here and there, it doesn't mean it won't also be coming to web. So like the ship skins and any new ships are also coming to web. Try and think of them as like one and the same.
They'll be the code will be exactly the same, and it's going to be cross-platform play, so it's completely all the same sort of game. So what the question was, will the points be the same? I think we've already answered that one. What was it, the part of the question?
Points be carried over to mobile, which I think you did cover when we were talking about the trophies.
Yeah. Was another part of the question? There's two parts. The question, what was it?
New ships coming out in mobile, or just new features? Yeah,
I knew there was another part to it. New ships. Yes, we definitely would love to do more new ships. That's definitely one of the key things. Obviously, ships is our equivalent of like, cards in a card game, or something else. So definitely yes. Because we're so small, though, we have to focus on this progression system and getting this in the game and everything that entails. So we're trying to be laser focused on a plan as we can and not scope creep too much. And currently, right now, adding new ships isn't in the plan because we've already got 30 odd ships in the game. So there's already quite a lot of content for new players. And as a business owner, one of the hard things is always like balancing what I want to do as like a game player, but also what I need to do as a business. And the cold hard fact of the truth is, if we can't make this a viable business on mobile, if we can't make it work within the limited amount of resources and time we've got to do this, then we just can't exist as a business, and the game just can't exist. So we have to try and stay focused on what we want. But obviously, BattleTabs all revolves around the ships. So if we don't continually keep refreshing ships and having more stuff in the game, then the game just becomes stale and old. So yes, that is definitely 100% on our radar, but it's probably not going to be until after the first release of it. But we are going to have obviously a lot more content in the form of skins and obviously all the progression and all the kind of stuff and bits and pieces that come along with that. So
yeah, we intend to keep everyone satisfied as much as we possibly can, while also progressing with all the things that we need to do to make this all work. So I was thinking we should move on to the community corner, which I should get like a little, or I should ask Sophie very kindly to make a cool little overlay for when we move into the community corner.
Community corner.
And we can have Mike to do the music.
Yeah.
So I'll just kick off something that I've seen in the Discord that has been really, really cool, and I think Brandon also highlighted, is people creating BattleTabs like YouTube video content. In particular, I saw the Nick's Plays videos. They were doing, I think they're going like a fleet review kind of thing. That was really cool, and I think they've done, at least last time I checked, they've done like 2 videos so far. It'll be real cool to see more, and I'll add to this video description their latest video, so you can check it out as well. Sophie, what did you have that you saw that was pretty cool?
What I've been really enjoying lately is, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, is it Fortrim? Your sketches of the BattleTabs characters doing all sorts of things. I love them a lot. They're very cool.
I don't know, is it pho trim, like Vietnamese pho trim. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I always just read it and don't think about how it's pronounced in my head. So saying it out loud feels weird.
It's the same when you read a book. If you read like a book and like the characters in the book, like a sci-fi book or something, it's like the characters in sci-fi books are like Zingle Zangle or something. It's like Z. That character's now Z in my head. It's just that's what he's known as from now on.
And Mike, you've been checking out. Oh no, you've been. Well, you go for it, Mike.
Yeah. So I just want to say thanks to BPF for all his help with the design work. So he was helping us out in January when having an early look over the high-level design, and same goes to the mods as well. So they were helping out as well with that. So big thanks to BPF and the mods for that. So yeah, that's my thanks.
And related to all these community discussions is that you might see, I think there's a channel, a wiki channel. I'll need to have a look for it. But we're moving BattleTabs, the current wiki is moving to wiki.gg. Currently in the process of getting that sorted. So check out the wiki channel. Wiki Squad. I don't know if it's an invite only channel. I'm not too sure, but I'll just post it here. Check it out. So yeah, moving to wiki.gg, and if you want to contribute in some way, just say so in the channel. I'm sure there'll be something that you'll be able to do. At the moment, I think it's a little invite only just while we're getting it up and running, but it shouldn't take too long. What is the future for Clan Wars and BattleTabs chess? BattleTabs, BattleTabs chess, I think that is all, if you're talking about the chess in the game dev channel, I think that is kind of in the hands of the community at the moment. So I guess that's up to everyone in the community at the moment. We're happy to give some direction or feedback, but I think that's more the game dev community at the moment. Clan Wars, there's no updates on that. We'll need to, I guess that's a good question for Brandon. I know he's been thinking about that, but that is something we'll need to have a think about, and that's something that I don't know, we'll have to think about and see how we can maybe talk more about it over there.
As I mentioned before, like it's not planned on the roadmap for this progression, and we have to stay focused on the progression. If we don't, that we can't. We have to stay focused on the progression right now. But if you're going to ask me, like, what features are we going to do? If BattleTabs happens to be, success on mobile and we're able to sustain ourselves as a business, what happens beyond that? Top of the list for me has got to be the tournaments and clan stuff. It's got to be those are things that I've wanted the tournaments for so long, in-game tournaments that is, and also clan-based, so you can team up together and you can have your own clan-based challenges and clan-based wars and that kind of stuff. That will be incredible to have. So unfortunately, it's just for the next probably at least 12 months, it's not going to be happening. So.
And just more to the, I guess, like social media side of things that we're trying to do a bit more of is if you guys have any ideas for little YouTube short ideas or any videos that you would like, do let us know. Some things that I've seen that have been pretty cool is the pets and the hobbies. The one that I would absolutely love to do is doing IRL BattleTabs. I don't know how we would possibly do that. I think that would be real cool. Maybe we get rent out a public pool or use someone's pool and put someone in a kayak, and then we have someone else throwing cannonballs in the water. I don't know. That would be cool.
I'll get my son involved.
Yeah.
2.5. He can be the coracle.
Something that if you haven't seen our latest YouTube short, I was revisiting a old game I made, and I might try and bully Brandon, Sophie, and Mike into doing a similar video. I think it would be cool to see just revisiting it? Just any old game that you
didn't bring my
Right.
like actual CD, like physical CD cases and stuff. Because I actually didn't bring any of my because obviously I'm from England, so I didn't bring any of my old games. I've got back in England in my attic. I've got like big old CD case of all the CDs and old games I used to have. Like, oh god, nostalgia trip. I could go down nostalgia. Do people
We
really
could
want to see
also
being nostalgic about games? I don't know. Like,
you could also do one of your own games.
that I've made.
Yeah.
I hate my games. I hate my games. I work on them for so long, and I'm just like, I'm fed up with this game by the time. Not BattleTabs though. I like BattleTabs because of the community aspect. But I've worked on so many games over the years, and then just like in isolation, and you get to after months and months or years of working on it, and you're just like, I am fed up of working on this game now. Yeah. Anyway, but there are so many games out there I'd love to talk about.
All right. Well, I'll close this out by, I guess, just asking the community to give us some feedback on what they think of this new format, this new look, and also just like how they felt the time was. I guess us as a team will go back, we'll have a think, and we'll see going forward what is the best time for you all. But we're probably going to stick it to the first Wednesday of each month. I think that's pretty consistent. Well, dependent on team movements and stuff. But I think that is all for this. Fine. Oh, unless Mike.
Just a little teaser for next month. Maybe we can discuss the wireframed UI plan. I don't know whether you had plans for next month yet, Jamie, but maybe we can go through that a little bit. Maybe we'll be a little bit more advanced on the UI side of things for that, so we can show some more of that. But just explaining like how we're going to take what is currently BattleTabs is obviously landscape UI and make that work on a screen like this, you know, like so. You got that to look forward to.
All right, cool. Well, I guess that's a great note to end on, a tease for the next community call. So thanks everyone for joining us, and see you next time.
See ya.